Hello, this is Andrea St. Amand, the creator of Unbound and storyteller at Charleston Hanson Hoodoo. And today we're going to talk about something a friend of mine gave me that I'm going to give to you. I'm going to read it here. It says, when we are not where we want to be in life, when we are holding ourselves back, we are acting from one of these three places. One, our need for approval from other people. Two, a need to control the situation or another person. Or three, a perceived need of safety and security. And each one of those things struck me so profoundly that I'm going to devote a video to each one. So today we're going to talk about our need for approval from other people and how that can really get in our way. And man, does it ever. I know every person watching this is going to get what I am saying. That when we need approval from somebody else, our motivation suddenly becomes dishonest. We are not then speaking or living from our place. We're speaking or living from a place that is seeking that other person's approval. That's the people pleaser mode. So sit with this for a minute. On one hand, yes, we don't want to hurt other people's feelings. We want to be kind, especially to our loved ones. But that's a different motivation. That's more honest than I'm going to say this thing. I'm going to tiptoe around the subject because I really want that person to like me. I want that person to still to give me that approval. But on the other hand, notice as you walk through one day, just try one day where you're noticing everything that you might be saying that's not exactly honest, or what you don't say, or how you're phrasing something because you're needing somebody else's approval. And that person could be somebody specific in your life, or it could just be the internet, the Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But think about that. And on a bigger level, are you taking actions, not just speaking, but are you taking actions in your life based on needing somebody else's approval? Are you living fully a life based on other people's, what you perceive to be other people's expectations of you, and you need their approval to keep going? Notice that for one day. Sit with that. So most of us are in people pleaser mode. I mean, we just are all day long. And when we're in that, and I mean by people pleaser mode, I don't mean like sales mode. If some of you all are in sales, of course you got to please people, you got to please your clients and your customers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about deep people pleaser mode. Do you remember that movie with Richard Gere and Julia? Name is blanking me out, Julia Roberts. And it was the Runaway Bride. And every boyfriend she had, she would never admit what eggs she liked. So wherever they were having breakfast, she would just kind of go with whatever he liked to order for breakfast. She would get the same thing. And the way that came out in the movie is that, of course, she was never being honest to herself. But she also wasn't being honest to any of those other men around her. They never got the benefit of knowing the real her. So when you're in people pleaser mode, when you're living in this need for other people's approval and you're taking actions on that, you're really getting farther and farther away from yourself. And you're not, of course, you're not doing yourself any favors, but you're definitely not even doing those people around you any favors, because you're not showing up the best, most authentic you. So for one day, think about, what if I didn't need approval? So notice it, but what if you just didn't even need it? Like, would you say something differently? Would you do something differently? Or would you just feel differently doing what you're already doing? So think about that. One day, you're going to go through the whole day and be like, I don't need anybody's approval today. I am my own fairy godmother. I give myself permission to do whatever, say whatever, think whatever, act whatever. I don't need anybody else's approval. Now I'm going to tell you a story because I love stories, but it's a very dramatic story, but I think it applies to all of us. When I was growing up, I grew up in a really small town in West Virginia, and I was studying ballet. And at one point when I was in high school, I got accepted to North Carolina School of the Arts, which was a boarding school, and it was where, if you didn't live in a big city and you could get professional training, you could go away to a boarding school and get professional training there. So that's what I did. And it ended up, I had a friend there who was also from another small town in West Virginia, like the town over. And I was in the ballet school. She was in the music department. as it turns out, we had a mutual friend back in West Virginia. And that girl was a little bit older than us. She was graduating from high school. She was trying to figure out what to do with her life after high school. And if we were from small towns in West Virginia, she was from like a really teeny small town, like a holler between our two small towns in West Virginia. And we were home on a break once and meeting with her because we knew that she loved music. Her boyfriend played piano, she sang. And by singing, I mean that when she opened her mouth, it was like the angels of heaven were coming straight through her. Her voice was powerful, and she was this tiny little woman, and she could just sing so well. So we were always encouraging her to do something with her music, pursue it, do anything with it. And this was a woman who had no confidence issues. She was fine. She could get up on stage. She had no spotlight anxiety. She sang in church. She sang at picnics. She sang at family events. She did not sing professionally, but she had no issues. Her only issue when we really started pursuing her, perhaps coming to North Carolina School of the Arts for college as a vocal major, and sending a demo tape back to school with us, her only issue was that her family wouldn't approve. And her mom and dad had put in her head, and they did forbid her to send the demo tape in, even though she was 18, she could have done it anyway. Her family had put in her head, we are coal miners from West Virginia. That's who we are. We're small. We stay small. And we don't do something big and fancy like you going off and becoming a professional singer. And she bought into that. She needed their approval so much. And I understand that when we're young, we all need our family's approval, but I can guarantee there's nobody watching this video right now who is under the age of 18. All of us are grown adults. So if we are at this age in life and we are still holding ourselves back from something because we need our family's approval, or we think we're not going to get it, or we need somebody else's approval, think about Lana's story, because Lana stayed in West Virginia, which is great. It's a great place. Maybe she's very happy, but she never even gave herself the chance to send that demo tape out because she so desperately needed somebody else's approval. So are you doing that in any part of your life? And if you are, think for one day, today I don't need anybody else's approval. And if it comes up for you, or when it comes up for you, because it will come up, it comes up for me all the time. It might be very subtle, but when it comes up, ask yourself, whose approval do I need? Am I basically needing the approval of the equivalent of Lana's parents? And do those people even have my best interests at heart? And the other part of Lana's story is that Lana never gave her parents the opportunity to change their idea of their family story. If Lana had gone on, I'm sure Lana's parents would have supported her. I'm sure they would have given her approval ultimately and been desperately proud of her. So when we get stuck in needing other people's approvals, and we're really far away from ourselves, we're really worried about what other people are going to think and how other people are going to judge us, we're not being honest and authentic, and we're going to get more and more and more isolated from ourselves and from everybody else around you. So leaving you with this today, one day, think about it. Do I need somebody's approval? And what if I didn't? What if today I don't need anybody else's approval? And when you are ready to find your own voice, to have courage, to step out, to not need other people's approval to an unhealthy basis, I will help you. We will get you unbound, or I can do a series of readings for you. It will get you clear and get you really confident on your voice. So reach out to me, and otherwise have a great day.